Good morning, friends. Happy Monday, and I am here to start off the vlog. A bit of a different location. I'm in the kitchen. I just made my breakfast. It's Monday morning. It is about 20 to 10, so I have to leave in about 10 minutes or so if I want to have time to stop and get a tea on my way to work. Already had my coffee this morning. So yeah, it is the 27th of September, and I am just here, and of course Presley's going to come in here and eat. And just here to kick off the vlog. Like I said, it's the 27th of September. So this is for week, I think, 39. And this is going to run September the 26th, which was yesterday, until the 2nd of October. So yeah, sorry I didn't start this vlog yesterday, but Sundays are my lazy day. And yesterday was my mom's birthday too. So on Saturday we had the family over for lunch. But yesterday was her birthday, but we just had a really, really relaxed, chill day. I put on daytime pajamas yesterday. But I did get a lot of reading done yesterday. So I will update you guys tonight with what I read, like what I finished yesterday. Because actually, so Saturday night, so when I ended the last vlog, when I went to bed that night, I ended up finishing off A Lady's Formula for Love, I think it is. I can't remember what it was. Elizabeth Everett is the author. But I'll do a review of that tonight along with Educated by Tara Westover. I finished that yesterday, and I started and finished a Babysitter's Club book yesterday. So yesterday was a very, very good reading day for me. Well, Saturday night into Sunday was very good for reading. So I have started 2 new books. I've got one going on audio and one an ebook. I started listening to the audiobook this morning. It is called Our Darkest Night by Jennifer Robson, I think. It's a historical fiction, World War II Italy. So that's kind of interesting. But I will talk about that tonight along with the ebook that I haven't started yet. It's 48-Hour Lockdown by Carla Cassidy. So I'm starting that today as well. But anyway, I'm going to eat my breakfast. I made a homemade Egg McMuffin, which is very, very yummy. Because usually I stop at McDonald's on my way into work. And sorry, I just had to switch hands. So it's a little shaky. And I get a bagel and a tea. But I did that on Tuesday when I went into work. And I ended up, because they put way too much butter on the bagel, which they tend to do, and the grease dripped on my shirt for work, and it pretty much ruined it because, you know, grease stains, butter grease stains on a shirt. So I'm like, let's not tempt fate. Let's just eat at home. And it's much more affordable, you guys, and better tasting at the end of the day, too. So anyway, as you can see from the time, I've got about 15 minutes till I have to go. So I'm going to quickly eat and head out, and I will talk to you guys when I get home tonight. Bye, guys. Hi, friends. Happy Tuesday. Today is the 28th of September. It's not October. And yeah, I didn't record anything last night when I got home. I meant to sit down and give you guys the reviews for the 3 books that I finished. And I thought, oh, I'll do it tonight. And then I'm like, oh, I might have another couple books. So it's a great reading week, you guys. This has been okay. So to be fair, one of the books I'm going to share with you right now is one I actually finished late on Saturday night before bed. So it technically would have been part of last week's vlog, but whatever. It doesn't matter. I am, of course, here to share it with you guys. But like I said, I am flying through 2 books that I'm reading now. One I'm actually listening to on audio, and another one I am reading as an ebook, and neither one I can put down. I was sitting here just now listening to the audiobook. I have about 2 hours left in it, and I had just started it yesterday morning. And I was like, oh my gosh, I want to record a clip for the vlog. I want to, update you guys on what I've been reading, because the next thing you know, it's like a part of me actually thought this morning, I'm like, maybe I should just do a weekly reads, like a weekly wrap up on Sunday of everything. And then I thought, no, I like doing the vlogs. Because even though my videos are casual to begin with, the vlogs just tend to be extra casual. So anyway, yeah, it's just been a weird couple days. Like Sunday, I was extremely lazy, no excuse. I just felt like having a very lazy day. And then yesterday I was at the office. So when you've been working from home, and I know some people were working from home a lot longer than I was, and I am very fortunate that I still do get a couple days at home, because most people are back in the office full time. It's hard to throw yourself back into that again. And so for example, it's And it's not being at the office that bothers me. And I mean, I shouldn't even really complain. I mean, I have a job. I'm very grateful for that. But working till 7 o'clock at night is hard. And guys, it's getting darker earlier. Like, by the time I get home, it's pitch black out. And, you know, it's just before 8 by the time I get home. I'm not eating dinner till like 8:30. And literally, I'm in bed an hour and a half after dinner. And it feels like I have no evening at all. Although I do have time in the morning, so I really shouldn't complain. But again, on the days that I have to go in the office, it's essentially my only complaint is like the hour and 45 minutes of commute time that I have both, like, together each way, there and back. It's about 40 minutes-ish each way. So yeah, that's kind of the downside of having to go into the office and stuff like that. So yesterday, like, I left for work, and then, like I said, by the time I got home, and yeah, but I've been reading a lot, which is great. So I'm very, very grateful for that. And that's the one thing I can't complain on with the commute. Like, I don't mind the commute itself. It's the time, right? Because I love having the audiobook time on my commute. But I was going to go into the office today, and I'll be honest, I'm not feeling that great today. So I decided just to keep myself here, and I'm going in Wednesday and Thursday this week, and then I'll be home on Friday, which will be kind of nice. So let's get into the books that I finished so far, and then I'll share with you guys the 2 books that I'm reading, and I will pop back on tonight, I'm sure, and share with you guys my review for those 2 books. It's been a good reading week so far, you guys. I mean, even if I get nothing else read this week, it's been a good reading week. So, the first book that I finished, the one that I finished late on Saturday night, was A Lady's Formula for Love by Elizabeth Everett. This book I gave 3.5 stars to. It is a NetGalley read, so thank you very much to Berkeley and to NetGalley for sending me an e-art copy of this one to read and review. This book came out actually back in March of 2021, and it is the first book in the Secret Scientists of London series. This is a historical romance, and it's the story of Violet and Arthur. And I liked this book. I liked the premise. I thought it was a lot of fun. My biggest issue with this book is that it really drags in the middle, like, to the point where, I mean, it took me 5 days to finish it, you guys. And it, like, I flew through the beginning of the book and then dragged for like 3 days through the middle part of the book, and then the last little bit of it I flew through, like, just laying in bed Saturday night before I went to bed. I read like 4 or 5 chapters, the last 4 or 5 chapters, and flew through it. So I mean, I liked it. It's just, and I've read this from a lot of other people. I was looking at a lot of other reviews that they were saying the same thing, that it does drag through the middle. So essentially the premise of the story is, like I said, it's about Violet and Arthur. And Violet is a widow. She married a man, I think it was like 3 times her age, and he wasn't the nicest guy. Again, it's a Victorian times novel, like Victorian times, like medieval times. And she has a stepson who is, I think, actually a year older than her. So anyway, she, after her husband died, she's always been very sciencey, and she wants to, invent things, and she's very mathematically inclined. And her husband kind of really suppressed all of that. He wanted her to throw these elaborate parties as a woman of means, or part of the noble class, I guess, would do. She used to bear children. She could never get pregnant. And anyway, so he kind of really did not give her time to pursue her passions. And then after he died, she started with, of course, the money that she had from, his estate or what have you. She's living a very comfortable life, let's put it that way. She opens up this club for women that is for scientists, and these women can come, and it's very secret, and they can conduct experiments and things like that. But it looks like somebody is not liking what she's doing and is threatening her. So Gray, which is her stepson, he hires a man by the name of Arthur, who works for, like, the London Secret Service, if you will. Like, think Victorian era James Bond. And he is sent to protect her. But of course, now it becomes very much like the movie The Bodyguard scenario, where they kind of fall for each other. And it was cute. I did like it, but like I said, the middle part of it tended to drag a bit. There is a lot of characters in this book. There's some great diversity in this book as well. 2 of the members of this women's club are lesbians, and they're older women, and they're delightful. And there is one of the servants, I want to say a servant in the house, I can't remember. Like I said, there were so many characters, you guys, who is who's transgender. So yeah, so there's that as well. And yeah, it was a really delightful story. I thought it was a lot of fun. It did get a little science-y, to be honest, which, you know, I wasn't expecting, considering, I mean, I know it's a book about like a woman scientist, but I didn't expect it to get that science-y, and it did in parts. And there's parts where she's describing something and the other characters are like glazing over. I'm like, I feel you, dude. I feel you. So yeah, I mean, all in all, would I recommend it? Yeah. But I read it as a digital copy. I know it's available on audio, so maybe if you get a chance, if it might be easier to get through on audio, I don't know. Especially go through the middle part, or maybe even just skim some of the middle part. You know, like, not that it's filler. It just, for whatever reason, it just dragged and there wasn't a lot happening other than Arthur and Violet kind of dancing around each other in terms of their relationship. Now, one of the other things that got me and confused me in the book, and this wouldn't necessarily be for everybody, is that, like I said, our main character's name is Violet. There's another character in the series, or in the book, named Letty. Now, what got me is that I have a friend whose daughter's name is Violet, but they call her Letty, like Letty as a nickname, like Violet, Letty, right? And it confused the hell out of me because I kept thinking that somebody was calling Violet by that nickname. And it took me a good quarter of the book to, you know, in my brain, separate the fact that these were two different characters. So there is that as well. But again, that was like more personal to me than anything else, just because I have a friend who does that with her own daughter's name. So yeah, so that is my thoughts on that book. The next book that I finished was Educated by Tara Westover. So I gave this book 4.5 stars. The publication date on this one was February of 2018. And I did listen to this one on audio, and it was narrated by Julia Whalen, who did a fabulous job. So I know that there's some controversy in this book. And I talked a little bit about that when we did the live show on Saturday. When I did the live show with Chloe and Brie for the book club, because this was for the book club for September. Chloe's prompt was school. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with what this book is about, but I'm sure everybody's familiar with it because this was top of the New York Times bestseller list forever. And it's about a woman by the name of Tara Westover. It's her memoir, who grew up in a very fundamentalist Mormon family. The father pretty much spent every day preparing for end of days. He had some very radical ideas in terms of the government. They lived for the longest time off grid. She didn't have a birth certificate till she was 9. She never had any formal schooling until college. And she had, I think it was 7 siblings in total. And it's pretty much, like I said, her memoir of her life. So I know that there's been some controversy on whether or not some of the events that happened in this book actually happened, or if they happened the way that she told them. And also the parents are, of course, denouncing a lot of what happened. Like the father, she pretty much came out and said that the father was bipolar. And they're denying that. She hasn't had any contact with her parents in many years. From my understanding, I did some research on this after I finished the book, that her mother has now written a book called Educating, I think. Kind of denouncing some of the things that happen in this book. Now, the one thing that struck me, okay, so 2 things. First thing is, the reason I gave this book 4.5 stars is that Tara Westover is a great storyteller. I mean, this book kept me engaged all the way through. Like, you know, if you can set aside, did it or did it not happen, it's still an interesting story. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it is told linear, but each chapter is kind of a different event that happens. She kind of does go a little bit back and forth in time, but kind of more talking about what her childhood was like and how ignorant she actually was when she eventually was able to get into college. There's a scene in the book that she talks about where she's in a history class and she asks what the Holocaust is because she doesn't know. So yeah, it great storyteller. Like, it was a very engaging story. Now, the other thing that struck me, and this I didn't think about this until after I saw this video, but I really, really believe that could be part of it. Like, some of the controversy of this book. I was watching The Poptimist. He is I think he's a Canadian booktuber, and he reviewed this book about 3 years ago, and I came across his video. I will try and remember to leave link to it below. It's about a 5-minute long review on just this book. And he made such a good point. He said, now you got to remember that a lot of the things that happened, she was quite young. And she does try and talk to family members about, did this happen or did this not happen, or how did this happen or when did this happen? So she tries to get some other memories from other people, if you will. But our memories are our memories, right? If you talk to my brother and I about one event that happened, like maybe when we went to Disney or something like that when we were kids, what he remembers happening might be different from what I remember happening, because we each shape our own memories. And then as time goes on and you talk to people about things, like let's say somebody's telling you something and you might not have been there, but the more they tell you, that becomes part of your collective memory as well. So maybe, I don't want to get into the whole was she or was she not making this up, but this is how she remembers it at the end of the day. This is her story as she remembers it. And like I said, when he said that in that video, it really clicked with me because it makes sense, and then the older we get, the more our memories change and the way things change. So again, I'm not saying that she didn't make any of this up. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that if she did, maybe it wasn't intentional. Maybe it's how she remembers it. It's what she remembers. And especially when you're young, you're so susceptible to, what influence of other people and what people are telling you and things like that. Yeah, so anyway, I don't want to get into a whole tangent about this, just to say that I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. If you are a memoir person, give this one a read. Again, it was not narrated by the author, which is typically the way it goes with memoirs. It was narrated by Julia Whalen, but she does a fabulous, fabulous job on this one. And yeah, I liked it quite a bit. I'm glad I have a physical copy. It's definitely one that I could see rereading. And the one thing, my mom read this last year because I had bought it. I think it was a daily deal on Audible one day, and that's why I picked it up. So my mom listened to it either earlier this year. I think it was earlier this year. And after I finished it, I talked to her about it. I didn't realize this is very violent too, by the way. A lot of things happen in this book that towards the end, I'm like, how are all these people not dead from all of the car crashes and accidents and all these things that have happened? But yeah, it was good, and I enjoyed it. And then the last book that I finished on Sunday was a Babysitter's Club book, because I needed something light after finishing Educated. And I started and finished this on Sunday. Dawn's Family Feud by Ann M. Martin. I gave this book 3 stars. It is Babysitter's Club book number 64, published in May of 1993. So in this one, Dawn's brother comes from California for a family visit for a week. And this is one of the first times he's been back since Dawn's mom married Marianne's dad, and the 4 or 5 of them are trying to all get along, and of course they're not getting along, and then they go on this trip to Boston and nobody's talking to each other. And yeah, it's a big thing. It was cute. It was 3 stars. I read it in probably an hour or so, and it's exactly what I needed. And as you guys know, I'm loving reading my way through the series. So what am I currently reading? Let me just close down my computer here. So the book on audio that I am currently reading, that I am 2 hours from finishing because it's so good, is Our Darkest Night by Jennifer Robson. This is a World War II historical novel that takes place in Italy. So it's about a woman named Nina who is living in Venice with her parents, and she is Jewish. And the war has started and the Jews are being persecuted. So her father hatches this plan with this local priest, a Catholic priest. Actually, they're very good friends. The father is a physician. So the priest was his patient at one point, and that's how they became friends. So he wants to get his daughter out of this area and into the country, if at all possible, to keep her hidden, so nothing happens to her, right? So they hatch up this plan with this local man named Nico, excuse me. And they have a fake marriage, essentially. And of course it turns into a real relationship, and it's adorable. I love that part of it. But at the heart, this is a World War II novel, and it's difficult. Right? I don't want to get too much into it because I went into this not knowing too much about it. That's really all I knew, is that she was being hidden in the countryside with a fake marriage to a guy by the name of Nico and living with his family. She's Jewish. He's the only one who knows. His siblings and father, who they're all living with on this farm in the Italian countryside, have no idea that she's Jewish. She's going to mass with him and the rest of the Catholic family just to make it look good, kind of an idea, right? And she struggles a lot with her own faith, and when this is all over, I can kind of get forgiveness and go back to, being Jewish and practicing Judaism. I don't think her family was particularly devout, but it was still the faith that she grew up in, right? So anyway, I am literally almost done. So that's how much I have left of this. And guys, it's so good. It's so good. I am listening to it on audio. And yeah, I had a good bit of downtime yesterday at work, like with really not much to do. And I couldn't really sit and read my book. So I just plugged in my earphones and listened to this for a good chunk yesterday. So yeah, it's really, really good. I'm enjoying this a lot. I'm reading this for a challenge, for the Pass the Parcel challenge, over on the Romance Readers Reading Group on Goodreads, because this week's prompt was to read a book set in Europe or Asia. So, of course, being set in Italy, clearly it's in Europe. So yeah, so I'm enjoying that one. The other one that I am reading right now that I got about halfway through yesterday was 48 Hour Lockdown by Carla Cassidy. This is the first book in the Tactical Crime Division series. It's a Harlequin intrigue novel. I'm halfway through this one, and guys, this one hits the ground running. I don't want to talk too much about it because I'm planning on finishing this one today as well. But it starts out with these gunmen coming into a school and holding some of the students and teachers hostages. One of the teachers is the ex to the guy who's the hostage negotiator. And they haven't talked in 2 or 3 years. He just so happens to be there and finds out that it's her in the school. And of course, there's going to be a relationship between them, but also what's going on with these kids. So, and why these gunmen are in the school. So that's all I'm going to say. I'll talk more about that one. I might jump back on tonight because I guarantee I'm going to get this one done today for sure. Whether I get this one done today or tomorrow, I'm holding it up like that. Whether I get this one done today or tomorrow, we shall see. But I will definitely let you guys know. And yeah, so I should get ready for work. I've been chatting for about 20 minutes now, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Hi, friends. Happy Friday. It's been a few days since I've talked to you. I legitimately could not remember what was the last book I shared with you that I finished. So I'm guessing, and when I get to editing, if I talk about something twice, then I'll just fix that up in editing. But yeah, it's been a number of days. I can't even remember the last time I talked to you guys. I think it might have been Tuesday or Wednesday. It's been a week. It's been a weird week this week. I've been back at the office 3 days. I was there on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So today I'm at home. It is Friday. It's October the 1st. Happy October, everybody. I'm so excited. It's a new month. It's fantastic. It is just after lunch, and I'm still drinking my coffee this morning. Cheers. From McDonald's, of course, but it is Friday, so I had to stop and get a coffee this morning. And I just wandered over and got some mail. So I've got a few packages I'm going to open for you guys here, which is part of what really reminded me. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to sit down for the vlog. So I think what it is because the days that I work at the office, I don't get home till 8 at night. And now, as we're all aware, it's getting dark relatively early. So what I think I might really try and do is because I think, it was kind of like, oh, got to vlog today, got to vlog every day. But maybe, even just to sit down when I finished a book or when something fun happens. So yeah, that's what I will try and do for next week. But for this week, it is what it is. It is what it is. So I think I've finished 3 books since the last time I talked to you guys. Cheers, excuse me. So the last book I think I talked about was Dawn's Family Feud and Our Darkest Night, I think. Those were the last 2 books I shared. So the next book that I finished after that was 48 Hour Lockdown by Carla Cassidy. I gave this book 4 stars. It is book number 1 in the Tactical Crime Division series. It's a Harlequin intrigue novel number 1917, originally published April of 2020. Of course, this is a romantic suspense. So this does deal with a gunman in a children's school, okay? But as horrible as that is, no one, I shouldn't say that. I don't want to give away too many spoilers. None of the key players die. None of the children. Let's put it that way. That's the big thing, right? So essentially these gunmen run into this children's school. It's a school for underprivileged girls, and it's a boarding school for underprivileged girls. So this guy by the name of Evan is called in, and he is a hostage negotiator. And, it's like 48 hours. They're locked in this school, hence the title of the novel. And the woman, Annalise, who is one of the teachers who's in one of the classrooms with 3 of the students, she is actually Evan's ex-girlfriend. So it is a second chance romance. But beyond the romance part of it, I mean, the romance, of course, did come into play, and it did it very well. Carla Cassidy is one of my favorite intrigue authors. And, the play between the romance and the suspense was really, really great. However, the suspense aspect of this book was just off the charts. I mean, the first half of this book, I couldn't put it down. I think I finished this book in 2 days. Like, it was so, so good. And it was one of those up way too late past my bedtime reading it. It was fantastic. I really liked it. I did find the second half wasn't nearly as intense as the first half, which is why it got a 4 instead of like a 5-star rating from me. But I really liked it, and I'm looking forward to reading more of this series. So if you're an intrigue fan, if you like romantic suspense, definitely give this one a try. The next 2 books I'm going to talk about. The first one was a 5-star read. The second one was a 2-star read. So the last couple days have been little on a high note and then a low note with the reading. So the first book, that was the 5-star read, was The Woolly Hat Knitting Club. And this was by, I wrote down the wrong author's name. I believe this is by Poppy Dolan. Okay. Like I said, 5 stars for this book. Thank you very much to NetGalley and to Saga Edgemont Audio. They sent me the audiobook of this on NetGalley to listen to. The audio narration on this was fantastic. It was narrated by Lizzie Wolford. And she did a fabulous, fabulous job. So the publication date originally, though, on this one was 2017. So it's now been released to audio, which is why it was out on NetGalley. So if you want to read this book, like in ebook or print book format, you can pick it up, no problem. I think the audio was released today, October 1st. However, I have not been able to find it on Audible. So let me just see if it's there now, because I was looking for it and I couldn't find it. And I'm wondering if it's only available in the UK, because it is a UK chick lit book. The Woolly Hat, too many L's. The Woolly Hat Knitting Club. Bear with me, you guys. So, nope, it's not showing available on Audible. So, my UK viewers, if you guys could do a search, could you let me know? Is it available on audible.uk? Maybe can I look that up? Good Lord, I cannot spell today. Clearly, I need new coffee. Or more coffee. More coffee is always good. Poppy Dolan. Let's just search. It's not available on the UK either, so I don't know if maybe they were just testing it out or something. But I'm really disappointed because it was so good on audio. But it is such a good book in general. So, if you like a good UK chick lit novel, you need to check this one out. So, let me share with you why I loved it so much. Oh my gosh, this book was just so charming. So, it's about a woman by the name of Deidre. And she is like a high-powered marketing executive in London, and she's like 70-hour work weeks, and she doesn't know how to slow down and take a break. You know, the very typical, right? And then her brother, who lives in the village that they were raised in, he gets injured. He actually breaks both of his wrists falling off a ladder. And he runs the local I cannot say this word. Haberdashery? Is that what it is? It's like a store for everyone in North America, because at first I had to ask my mom, because she's like all things UK. She knows. And it's a store that sells like knitting, sewing, crafting, those kind of supplies. Like not like a Michael's per se, but more I think the fiber arts. UK friends. Is that correct? So he runs the local haberdashery. And he gets injured, so he needs some help. So his sister comes up, and Dee comes up, and she agrees to help him out. So because she's spending some time with her brother, and there's a few other things that happen in the mix, she ends up getting fired from her job. So now she's back permanently. Well, she's rented out her apartment and or her flat in London, and she's staying with her brother. And there's kind of a romance in here as well. I would definitely consider this a chick lit because the romance aspect of the story definitely plays second fiddle to the rest of the novel. But it's a romance between her and a former coworker, and that's all I'm going to say because I don't want to give it away. But the main plot of this book, what I love so much, is that oftentimes, like as a knitter, as someone who is an avid knitter, you see books that are set in knit shops or that have knitting in the title. But the reality is that there'll be like a couple of scenes where they're at this knit shop, but not too much really happens. This book really is involved with knitting. But that being said, you don't have to be a knitter to enjoy this because Dee herself, as well as this former coworker that she kind of ropes into helping her, neither one are knitters. They're newbie knitters. So you're kind of really learning with them in a way, and it's delightful. So at the beginning of the book, when she gets back into town, she's at the local grocery store and she runs into an old friend from high school named Becky, or Bex, I think she goes by. And Bex just had a baby, but her baby was born prematurely. And the baby was still in the hospital. Of course, Bex is very upset. They don't know if he was going to be okay, if there was going to be any long-term effects or anything like that. And then Dee goes back and she's telling her brother JP about this. And JP said, well, we should knit him some hats, some infant, like, preemie baby hats. And this is a thing. I know it's a thing in the US that there's a lot of people who will knit these preemie hats and send them to hospitals. So that way, the parents have little hats like that actually fit a preemie, especially when they're real little, right? So any knitters out there, if this is something that sounds interesting to you, definitely check out if there's something going on in your area that you can do this. So she tells her brother about it. So her brother kind of starts, he's got a YouTube channel that kind of goes with his shop, and he's very much an online presence in the knitting community. And he puts a call to arms out to start knitting these baby hats, these preemie hats. And he does some research and finds out that, like, in the UK, there's 165 preemie babies born every day. So their goal is to knit enough to give every baby born for just one day a hat. And of course, it grows beyond that, right? So there's a great bit of charity stuff in here. There's a great thing with, like, the friends and her fitting back into town and her friendship with Bex. And, you know, it's just, guys, it's all around delightful. It is absolutely delightful. And I'm so glad that I took a chance on it. Because really for the NetGalley books, I've started to looking at the audiobooks a little bit more, but generally not as much, mainly because I find with the audiobooks, it's a very quick turnaround. Like, they want you to, like, review it within, like, a few weeks or something like that. And generally, that's not a big deal. But you guys know what my TBRs look like. And, you know, adding stuff really isn't very easy for me. But I'm super glad I picked this one up because it was delightful. So, I was told by one of you lovelies out there that as long as I have the book downloaded on the NetGalley app, I can listen to it after it expires. So my mom's actually listening to it now because I have it on the NetGalley app. So, and she's telling me how charming and delightful it is. So yeah. Oh, and then fun side note, at the very end of the book, after the book is finished, there is a pattern for these preemie hats is included. Isn't that delightful? I mean, it just makes my heart happy. This book just made me happy. And then the last book I want to share with you guys that I finished over the last few days was The Dud. And this was Cia Martinez and the Moonlit Beginning of Everything by... don't have the author's name. It's on the cover of the book that I'm going to stick right here. I'm sorry, I didn't write that down on my notes. This book I gave a 2-star to, you guys. It is a YA, and it's labeled as a sci-fi. And I can absolutely see how it's labeled as a sci-fi. And I actually read this to fit the sci-fi prompt for the Fall Under Reading Challenge. So I'm glad I finished it. It wasn't terribly long. So my issue with this book... I'll tell you what I didn't like, and then I'll tell you what I did like, okay? So what I didn't like is that I felt the author was trying to tell 2 different stories. So this is about our main character, Cia, and she kind of has a lot going on. I think she's about 17 or 18 in this book, and a number of years earlier, her mother, who wasn't illegal, but her mother was born in Mexico, but had been living in the U.S. since she was like 6 months old or something like that. So I guess there's a local sheriff, there is a local sheriff, and he's extremely racist, and he does not like, you know, these people being here, and he calls ICE on her mother, and her mother is sent back to Mexico. So they try legally to get her back into the country, and she can't. So she ends up walking across a desert, the Sonora Desert. Am I saying that correctly? It's like Mexico into California and Arizona. The story takes place in Arizona. So she dies, they assume. That's all I'm going to say. While she's walking across this desert. So this has been like a year since that happened. Sia's very upset. There's a lot of racism in town. She's dealing with racism with some of these boys in her school, along with the sheriff himself and some of her teachers. She's also dealing with maybe a potential fallout with her best friend. They've been friends since the 6th grade. So there's all these kind of like coming of age to an extreme, if you will, especially when you consider the racism and the death of her mother and things like that. And then this new boy moves to town. And the story takes this twist into like X-Files territory, which I didn't hate because that's the reason I read it. But I just felt that these two different plot lines, she didn't meld them together well enough. It's like this was the first half, which was a coming of age story. The second half was like this whole alien conspiracy thing that they supposedly saw this alien craft that, you know, landed in the desert and yada, yada, yada. And yeah. So I didn't love the way it felt discombobulated. That's the only way I can describe it. And I was bored through parts of it, to be honest. So without getting into anything political, because I am Canadian, I don't know the laws in the US when it comes to things like that. But if she, like the mother was married to the dad, it should have been easier for her to stay in the country. Would it, please, you know, or if she had a baby, like if she had Sia and like her daughter, the daughter was like 13 or 14 when her mother was taken by ICE. Wouldn't that have come into play or no? Again, if I am wrong in these assumptions, then I apologize for my ignorance. But it just, yeah, that part of it kind of, I went, I'm not too sure. But, however, what did I like about the book? The writing in this book was amazing. This author has a beautiful style. It was very lyrical. That's the easiest way for me to describe it. The other thing that I didn't particularly love is the chapters were super short. Like, it's like she wrote a paragraph and went, all right, end of that chapter, next chapter. Or 2 lines would be an entire chapter. And I think there was 220 chapters in this book. Like, it was a little ridiculous. I didn't like that. But her writing, like I said, was beautiful and lyrical. And I did like the characters. I liked Sia. I liked her best friend, Rose. You know, her dad, Sia's dad was pretty awesome too. And all the characters were very well defined. It was just the plot itself that I didn't love. Again, it was discombobulated and it just didn't mesh well together. Just my 2 cents on it. And I know there are a lot of people who loved this book. When I was looking at ratings on Goodreads, people thought this book was fantastic. And I can see why people would think that, absolutely, but it just didn't work for me personally. So, yeah, so that is everything that I have read over the last few days. So, I will probably update you guys tomorrow, but I don't predict finishing anything. But I do want to show you, of course, what I am reading currently. Let me just grab those two. So I'll just put those in my... Actually, I don't need that one. Just put that in my lap. So let's open some... No. Let me share with you guys what I've started because it's the 1st of October and we're starting all the books today. Yay. So I did start a Christmas book today. It's the 1st of October. Why the heck not, right? So today I started reading Missing at Christmas by... Why am I putting a picture up when I have it right there? Excuse me. I do have a physical copy of this, but I am reading it on my Gloss app because the author sent me this copy because she is super, super sweet. But I wanted to support the author, so I went out and bought a digital copy of it that I'm reading on the Gloss app from Harlequin. So I am reading Missing at Christmas by Katie Richards. So this is the 2nd book in the West Investigation series. The first book I read back in February or March, I think. And yeah, Katie signed it for me because she's a delight. So yeah, this is about a woman by the name of Addie. And I haven't even finished the first chapter yet. And her sister has gone missing. So she has come to go find out what's happened to her sister and runs into this guy named Sean. And he is an investigator. And I think it's a second chance romance, but I'm not absolutely certain. I will update you guys more tomorrow and let you know. So I started that one this morning. And then later today, I plan on starting Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass by, of course, Lewis Carroll. This is for Victober. I am very, very excited. I am buddy reading this with Rainey. I know that she messaged me and she said, I decided to listen to it on audio. And the audio is available for my library, but I really want to read this edition of it. So I'm going to, mainly because I want to see the pictures as I go through it. So yeah, and I have my, one of my Alice in Wonderland bookmarks from, who's this from? S.J. Wonderlands. So my Alice in Wonderland bookmark, it says, if I had a world of my own, everything would be nonsense. And I feel that. I do feel that. So yeah, so my first book for Victober. So that is what I'm currently reading, or plan on reading today. I was going to start an audiobook today. I have out from the library right now, The X-Hex by Aaron Sterling. And I decided to actually, I've been super busy this morning doing a bunch of other things, so I'm actually going to start it tomorrow. So that's my game plan. I actually have to work tomorrow, you guys, for 3 hours, so it's not too bad. The woman that we usually have doing the weekend stuff, she's taking a vacation, and they asked if I would do Saturday for a few hours, and my phone's ringing, so excuse me. Sorry about that, guys. So let's open up a little bit of mail that I got today. Yay. Should we start with this one? This one looks super cute. Let's start with this one. So where did I put my scissors? Here they are. I have no idea what this is. That is always fun when you order things and you don't know what they are. I'm pretty sure this is for me. Yeah, it's got my name on it. Okay, just making sure. You know, occasionally my mother will order things from the shopping channel, so you don't want to take somebody else's mail and open it, right? Holy cow. What have we got here? Ooh, Laquette. Oh, you're a delight. So the author Laquette sent me her new book. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is a Harlequin Desire novel. Oh, this was after we had her on the podcast. She did sign the inside of it. This comes out, you guys, in December. So this is a December book. Look at that cover. Isn't that stunning? So this is Backstage Benefits, and I believe it's the story of the story is a age gap. She's older. Their daytime partnership sets the night on fire. Who said they can't have it all? So just let me read the back of it. Lyric Smith didn't become the nation's most successful lifestyle guru by losing focus. Yet Josiah Manning, daytime television's hottest and sexiest young black producer, makes her do just that. Publicly, Josiah wants Lyric to star in a new talk show. Privately, he's headlining her sexiest fantasies. But when their explosive chemistry leads to complications instead of contracts, will Lyric find the ultimate partner to help her crush her rivals, or exit stage left alone? So yay. This is the second book in her series, in Laquette's series. The first one was, what was the first one called? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I should know this. A Very Intimate Takeover was the first book. So yeah, looking forward to reading this one. Thank you, Laquette. Oh, you're so sweet. So the next book that I got, and can I just say, now that I know who it's from, this feels very on brand. If you follow Laquette at all on social media, yeah, very on brand. So the second package is from the great people at Book Depository. I'm pretty sure I know what this is. There was only one thing I was waiting on. And this arrived perfect. Yes, it did. It arrived at a perfect time. I'm very excited. Yay. So we have another one for Victober. This is Gothic Tales by Elizabeth Gaskell. So there it is, my friends. This isn't as thick as I thought it was going to be. Come on. Everybody in the back. I know you want to say it. That's what she said. Oh, this looks really good. Okay, the wording is really tiny. I spoke too soon. This is going to be available on audio at the end of the month. So, like, I wanted this edition because I thought it was gorgeous. Like, I'm not a penguin collector. I have another one the Book of Witches, I think it is. It's over there. Again, I really like the cover to it. But I have to be honest, a lot of the Penguin Classics I'm not loving. I don't love the print that they put, but this one just gives that atmosphere that's just amazing. So yeah, I'm very, very excited. Sorry, just let me do something here. So I don't know. I just got this today. Okay, how many pages are there? Oh, geez, a lot of this is notes. And I know some people have read some of these short stories, but I have not read, I've never read anything by Elizabeth Gaskell. So I know this was like the buddy read book for the month, like the group read, excuse me. It's got 340 pages. Oh, geez. It's like 10 pages a day. 10 or 11 pages a day. You know what? Maybe I'll just read a little bit as I go throughout the month. That might be a nice idea, right? Maybe I'll try that. I'll keep you guys updated. I'll let you know. I'll let you know how that's going. Because I kind of would love to read this edition. I mean, I spent money on it. So yeah, maybe I'll try that. It won't be too hard. 10 pages is good. My thing is I get very intimidated by classics because of the writing. So, like I said, I'll keep you guys updated. So anyway, that is the mail. That is everything else. That's all I have to share with you guys. Thank you. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye. Hi friends, happy Saturday night. Today is October the 2nd, and it's about 7:30 at night, probably closer to 8. So I'm just coming to you really quickly just to end off this vlog, because I think I'm going to sit down and quickly get it edited for you guys, and then so it can be posted tomorrow. So today was a really busy day. I actually had to work this morning. I think I told you guys that yesterday. I had to work for about 3 hours this morning, and then Garrett and I had to take Bernard to the vet, and he is right behind me there. sleeping it off, if you will. He had to have his vaccines done, so that's why we took him in, and then his yearly checkup. So yeah, so all that's been done, and then I came home, and it's just been a busy day. We had to go to Walmart. We had to do, you know, so tomorrow is not too bad. Tomorrow, so I may wait until the morning to edit this. I think I will. I think I just feel like sitting downstairs and watching X-Files tonight or something. So yeah, so what am I reading today? Actually, before I show it, I read a good chunk. I'm like 75% of the way through on audio. The Ex-Hex by, what is her name? Erin Sterling? Was that the author? The picture will have been up here. By Erin Sterling. And I am, spoiler alert, I'm loving it. I'll finish it tomorrow, so you guys will hear about it in the next vlog. And I have gotten some reading done today on Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, which I am really enjoying. I don't recall ever reading the book. I know my father read the book to me at least once or twice when I was really young, but of course I don't remember the text. But of course I have very good knowledge of the Alice in Wonderland movie from Disney, because it is my favorite Disney movie of all time. So I'm interested to see how much they took from the book to put in the movie. Now, from my understanding, I'm actually going to read both. I know Rainey and I just talked about reading just Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, but I'm also going to read through The Looking Glass. They're both contained in this volume, and it's not very long, really. I'm hoping to get a good chunk of this read tonight. I want to finish Alice's book, like the first book, tonight, and then try and get The Looking Glass one done tomorrow. But from my understanding, the Disney movie takes elements from both books and puts it into that movie. So I am very interested. But I'll let you guys know more of my thoughts on this next week, or in my next vlog. But yeah, so that's about it, you guys. This has pretty much been a shorter one. They are lately. I'm sorry with me having to go back to the office. By the time I get home at night, I'm really tired. I think I talked about this yesterday. But I will do my best to try and check in with you guys. At least, you know, I want to say every day, but I don't think that's going to be the case. At least when I finished a book, or if something fun happens. So we shall see. But anyway, guys, I will talk to you in my next video. Until then, take care and happy reading, everybody. Bye.